If there was anything like, moving on from that shit, if there was anything like in terms of TV series that you suggested to me, um, I would never have expected, honestly, Daybreak. Um, I'm gonna get your impressions of it. What did you think of it first when you watched it?
Honestly, like I didn't really mind it. It was it was campy. It was fun. It had the apocalypse tones. It had the character that I will not call Josh because forever he will be young Sam to me because that's where I saw him first. But no, I don't really enjoy it. Like a lot of it popped up on my radar because it came from uh can't remember which member of it, but one of the members came of My Chem Romance were the ones that were responsible for it. So like that's what kind of got on my radar, and then I was like, you know what, I'll do what I always do. I give every TV series 3 episodes to sell me, and within 3 episodes, it did sell me, and I got trapped into it, and I found it to be fascinating, entertaining, and then of course, as we discovered on later on, it did have that little kind of social, political, economic background that we didn't really pick up until we actually sat back and was like, hang on a second, they're actually doing that without us even realizing. So that made it a bit more intriguing to me. And like again, I've got a soft spot for Matthew Broderick because he done the shitty Godzilla in the '90s, and I was like, yeah, you know what, this is a good role for him. He done well. He hates kids, and it was delivered. So at the end of the day, like I wouldn't give it the greatest series I've ever watched, but it was something entertaining to watch that broke away from what I usually watch.
Mm. Nick Tat 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 Tatalopoulos. Nick Tatopoulos.
Try and say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, from Godzilla. I don't know why that thing was part of the script, but um, yeah, because okay, I'm really interested that you said all that, but off the record, you didn't say the word that I thought you were gonna say, and that was cringe. Come on,
Well,
man.
yeah, yes, the food episode was as I when we spoke off the in real world, that pizza episode, the virginity episode, that was the cringe episode, for the better part of it,
But
and
I
a lot of other parts.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of other parts. I can't believe you think about that particular episode in terms of like them getting it on and the pizza guy and whatever as cringe. Like, okay, when you suggested to me I should look into something that you've seen, and definitely because I asked for it and I said, okay, I've heard of Daybreak and then I heard of the unfortunate canning of it. I'm just like, "Pfft, okay, that sucks that any sort of TV series that gets announced in America, or even just any TV series in general, it just sucks if they get canceled after one season. And then for people to wonder, including myself personally, I'd be like, okay, why why is it canceled after one season? Either it's either two extremes. It was really
It's two
bad.
extremes, yeah. Well, yeah, but still, like it opened up an avenue for a second season, and now I'm just like, well, I'm not going to see that now unless somebody picks it up.
Well, there you go. And this is also the same fate for oh god, what was that movie with that TV series with there were spies and it was that girl from The Walking Dead. Oh my god, I completely forgot. I don't know if you know that series.
Not coming this coming to mind.
I'm totally finding it now because it's just going to be on the tip of my tongue.
Of course it is. But I mean, honestly, like, can you not say that at least you enjoyed Miss Crumble?
It was actually really interesting that yeah, like she did everything in her power not to become ghoulish.
And like, even like say like the character playing her, Krista Rodriguez, like I thought she done fantastic to play this like quirky zombie ghoul, trying not to be zombie ghoul, and was like awkward teacher beforehand, and like I don't know, like I just loved her character.
Yeah, it was actually it was actually going really well, I think, for her arc. And then when I found out, or when they revealed that she was getting it on with Broderick, I'm just like, ugh. And then that episode as well, actually, where they were doing the whole comedy skit thing, I'm like, oh, this is so woke.
God no, it got you there, did it?
It's not even just that. There was so many other parts that I'm just like, oh, this shit is so woke. So obviously, I'm probably just we're all over the place, obvious, as you can see. But like, if I had to, I think it was literally the first 5 or 6 minutes of the first episode. I'm just like, oh no, this shit is like Ferris Bueller woke.
Like literally when you mentioned that to me when you're like Ferris Bueller, I was like, does that mean he's going to like it because of that relation? But then you kind of flipped it on me and went down a different pathway that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, off the record, yes, I did. And now I'll say it on the record, it's still the same thing because it's like, okay, Ferris Bueller was good for a movie. It's good for a TV series of this kid that just won't stop won't stop just weighing about his girl, and then he just continues the Sam Sam and I just it was just blah blah blah, and then as he was Ferris Buellering his way through it, I was just thinking to myself, it's quirky. Don't get me wrong, it's quirky, but I got to agree with some of the stuff that I saw when I finished the series. Its quirkiness just couldn't be. I don't think its quirkiness could go over to a second season.
Well, no, like I'll give it that. Like the quirkiness probably would fade out, and if the second season ever came to fruition, because just the way that the season ended, it would just wasn't going to allow for the campiness anymore. So it was probably like, if I was going to be honest, we'll probably start going down a bit more of a darker path because of where it was heading.
Yes, that too. Considering, so the other series that I was talking about with Lauren Cohen from The Walking Dead that failed was called Whiskey Cavalier. That left on a massive cliffhanger that will never be continued, I don't think. And that was a recent TV series that I watched in 2019, and it was in 2019. I can't believe I completely forgot about it, but then clearly the reason why I forgot about it was because it just ended on a cliffhanger, and then that's it. It was just one season. This one wasn't too much of a cliffhanger, but again, just the quirkiness. So the first couple of episodes with the dialogue was sometimes funny. Don't get me wrong, but there was just way too many dialogue choices of putting in woke American societal sort of comments like the memes, and then if like some memes you can recognize what they're doing, and just some of the things that they were saying that I think only American audiences would understand. There was a lot of um jokes there that I could see people missing because they just don't understand American teenage society.
Yeah, no, I'll give it that. Like, it was really more addressed to the American audience, just the way it was set up with its joke, its puns, its basis, its explanations to society, especially, the split between, like, for Australians, yeah, we get the split between nerds and jocks. That one's easy to pick up. But then, of course, when you go down to further divisionings as well, and also divisions within the divisions, like, with also Grid's character with Wesley being a jock, but he's also a nerd on the side because he loves Japanese
Oh.
films and he's also gay.
Uh,
Settle down,
sorry,
man.
sorry, sorry.
I know. It's more, as you put it, the more wokeness. He's a jock who can be a nerd, but he's also gay. Hey, look at us being inclusive. Yes, I can kind of get where you get annoyed with that. But yeah, the character, I like the character again. It was, I think, the way it was set up, it was very targeted to the point of where it became too targeted, and
Incredibly.
that's where it can drop off other people from different age groups, from different backgrounds, from different countries will struggle with it. So if you're not, I would say if you're not diverse in American culture and you haven't really done a lot of looking into it, and if you've just resolved around your own world, this series is not for you. Like, you would not get it. the jokes would fly right over your head. You would not get the subcontext. You would just be literally watching essentially a teenage drama flick.
Essentially, yes. And first and foremost, the reason why I groan about Wesley is because not about the whole gay thing, and not the whole about inclusive of gayness. That actually, sorry, of his sexual orientation. That actually wasn't it wasn't really a big deal for me in that retrospect. Actually, I think the more of the big deal for me with Wesley's character was um just that massive twist around he's a jerk jock at the beginning, right? And then the apocalypse happens, and then he just has to like go to the whole it's literally Afro Samurai, the anime, except without Samuel L. Jackson, and then just sort of turning over that that sort of stereotype. And it is a stereotype because as far as I've understood and even gained from much American TV shows and viewings that I do myself, and how I got most of the jokes, and then I was just like, you know, it was with African American people, or I'll just say it with black people in the States, yeah, they do watch a lot of Japanese shows. They do appreciate the struggle, like Naruto and the Kurosawa films and the samurai lone, 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 what is it? Lone cub, bear, whatever. Um, shit, I don't even remember. But they do enjoy those kind of those movies because of the great storytelling, and it just kind of like again stereotyping that sort of thing with him, and then big surprise, I actually did not think that he was actually gay until he actually kissed Turbo, and I was like, whoa, dude. That was surprising. And then I kind of like the idea with Turbo, his character. He can't speak, and if he speaks, blood just gushes out. I'm just like, what the hell happened?
No, like yeah, I'll agree. Like Toba's character was like actually really good, to be
Mm,
honest. He was really well delivered. Like he was this angry jock. He was the head of the jocks, but secretly in love with Wes. Um, and I still need to get like because I cannot remember if they ever clarified why he like bleeds when he speaks. I'm assuming I'm going to assume it's something to do with the actual apocalypse because I mean they're the
I
game
don't think
grounds
they
zero, so
arrested.
no, no. So like again, I don't mind that because you don't always need an explanation. You can kind of just use your own imagination, and you can do that with Turbo. You can be like, what is the apocalypse? They were ground zero at a nuclear blast. He's been dealing with everyone. Who knows? Like there could be any explanation. I don't care. I don't need it. Like his character was great. Like even in that first episode where he was hunting Josh and like organizing the jocks and all that violence and him killing people because they didn't entertain him. I thought that was just great. Like he's a guy who's running everything, but he still wants to be entertained. And if you don't play your role in his world, you're dead. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
And I think also one of the biggest surprises as well for me was seeing his dad and his freaking Joe Manganiello or Manganiello, the guy who was supposed to be, or he did actually make a cameo appearance at Deathstroke in I think that was Batman versus Superman at the very end.
Yes, and I actually like that touch and like where he's. I still can't pick whether his dad was a bad dad or not because he still seemed very supportive. But yeah, it was actually a really nice, like not really good appearance by him.
Yeah, that was so surprising. I'm just like, dude. And then I just remember that episode where he's just like, yeah, that's my dad. Or is it just that, you just made up a fake dad and Wesley finds all these other pictures of the same of his dad in the store, or he just bought a frame. I'm just like, dude, it's his dad.
Which is like it was a really good play because it's like, is it his dad? Is it not his dad? And then you literally see the scene where his dad's leaving and he's like practicing the ball, and you can see like where he gets that really drive for attention and why he's so obsessed with Wes. And it's like he's got a dad who's never really there. So that was for me that was really good because it actually gave a character a reasoning for the way they are. So I thought that was a really nice touch.
Yeah, and the same thing as well. Like his dad showed those same sort of impulsiveness where he just goes, he's dedicated to his work and his obsession with his work, and he's just like, look, these people are gonna die, or I go to your football game. And I'm just like, this is so fucking absurd. Like the way that he delivered it, because he's saying like, all these kids are gonna die if I just if I attend your 3.5 hour football game when I could be saving them. I'm like, oh come on, man. This dialogue is like, can anyone get me some butter and some corn? Like fuck, like fuck, man. That was
Oh,
that again. The dialogue in that was just cringe, but the way he delivered it was pretty good. He was one of the I think one of if not maybe for me the only good surprise. I don't know if I think there was other surprises. The, again, from going to maybe episode 3 and 4, it didn't really show too much about the ghouls or the people who got, like for example, this nuclear holocaust got rid of adults and because they didn't have this particular injection or whatever. But I'm guessing as well if they had a season 2, they'd get really down to the nitty gritty of it, and then maybe find out the girl's mother who's in a submarine and oh that little shit though.
not a fan of Angelica.
In the beginning, it got annoying. Like I'm just like, okay, it's just some little fucking shit. Typical stereotypical. Like I'm 10 years old and I don't know the fucking world, but she's like this genius and doing drugs and slime queen of the school that she never goes to. I was just, but in the end, it was kind of okay. But in the middle as well, in the end, um, I think one of also the big twists, which I didn't see coming, was when they actually lied about Sam being dead just to keep him in the mall.
Oh yeah, that's definitely where like it took a real dark turn because the fact that they actually put so much effort into showing as well and like using someone else's body to be like, yeah, no, she did. Sorry about that. Stay here. Be with.
And it was good because as well it stops him from his whole Sam, remember Sam, Sam. So I was just like, fuck, dude. Just, I mean, I can understand in a situation like that where somebody that you really love, it's totally understandable. But from an entertainment point of view, and there's just like, and then just the wokeness of like, oh, this is the flashback, or, can you cut the flashback now? No, didn't have any chains. I'm like, oh, you're honestly killing the Ferris Bueller mood right now. You're honestly killing that idea.
But that's not even like for me the worst part was like you end up hating Sam once she's found.
You end up hating Sam, but that's definitely something I want to talk about, like maybe in a couple of minutes. But I wanted to, I just wanted to, and for good fucking reason too, probably because she's British as well. But that aside, the other stuff as well. What are we looking at? Oh man, the we got to talk about Hoyles, dude.
Oh, which part?
Oh jeez, just his whole character, man. Like his whole character, he was the one that you would want to hate, you'd love to hate, and he was the atypical like jock, and he just turned. Oh god, he he literally made me feel gross, and then I laughed when he got completely killed by a mutated pug.
Overly mutated pug, mind you.
Oh my god, it was huge.
Yeah, but no, he's yeah, that was his whole flashback episode was.
It was
Ugh.
difficult. It was actually difficult because the thing is, in their in their again the show's wokeness, there is people like that, or sorry, there are people like that, and it's a scary thing that there are people like that, and they just only think about themselves. They they think that they're untouchable as well, and they're actually just generally really ignorant, and it's people like that that I despise the most. And they nailed the character. Don't get me wrong, he nailed the character too, but um, Hoyles and just sort of just the jock team, they reminded me of just all other sort of like teen comedies or teen movies where, yeah, jocks, dude, like you don't want to be around them when they've got their freaking varsity jackets on.
And don't even get them started once they bring in mummy and daddy.
Mama and Daddy, who tried to bribe the school, and eventually they did, and the guy's like a massive like cereal company. Oh, the freaking gobble.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Jesus.
But you know what? Like, as gross as his character was, and that's the best way to say it, he was
Mm.
gross. He was disgusting. He got his just desserts. But the twist with the principal and how he turned that bribe against him in the end was just, oh, mwah, bellissimo.
That was actually, yeah, that was pretty crazy. And yeah, Broderick, again, Broderick delivered well on that. Okay, I'm gonna have to bring this on the record because off the record, I said that Broderick was like, his acting, it was just an easy paycheck. He didn't have to do much in this series.
Well, no, he just had to essentially look like he cared about kids, but actually hate kids, and that's an easy role to deliver for any adult.
Exactly. So I'm still saying for the record that this was a pretty easy ride for him, but also, I mean, I can see that this is definitely for him being one of the main characters. It's definitely paying homage to essentially Ferris Bueller and that kind of acting and the way that Ferris Bueller was in terms of literally coming out of that and literally talking to you directly face to face. I don't think there's been another movie that's pulled that off. Obviously, this TV series tries to pull it off, and it did. It's too much. I think in this TV series, it was too much because eventually, as well, obviously, you get to say, "Oh, this is my show," and then you have, which I think it was bound to happen, that all the other characters would narrate their own lives and narrate their own backstories and context before the apocalypse.
Yes, I think like yeah, it was overdone in that facet, like trying to flashback everyone because there were some characters that I was just like, you know what, I really don't give a shit about you because you annoy me, Eli. Um,
Oh, yeah, he
I'm
was
sorry,
annoying.
but god damn, like he literally put me in a bum mood for a good 3 episodes, and I'm just like, you need to go. Like when they locked him out and the zombie ghoulies adults that were left were coming, I was like, oh thank god he's gonna get eaten. This is good. And then there's like, no, samurai guy's like, no man, I'll help you out if you help me portray everyone. And it's like, no, like put him back out. Let him get eaten. I don't need him.
And then they redeemed him at the end.
It's just like, no, I don't. It still didn't redeem me for me. Like, I was just like, I don't care. You still annoyed the living shit out of
Yeah, and then here's the thing: they never touched on the touch base on Mavis, and I think clearly the main character, whatever his name was, Josh or the other Josh or gay
me.
Josh
Other
or
gay Josh or other gay Josh.
other gay Josh. No, he's just Josh. I'm like, oh fuck. So I think Josh made. Do you think Josh made that up that he met Mavis?
I, honest to God, do not know. Like
Because even
let's.
Eli says that one line where he goes, "Don't patronize me on I think it's like my made up inanimate objects or something."
Yeah, exactly. And this is like,
It's like, hold on,
it seemed like he indicated that like Mavis was like just like a doll in a store,
a
and
mannequin.
it's like mannequin, yeah. And I was just like, oh, I don't know, like was it him like losing his mind and finally snapping for a split second to get come to reality and know how to fix everything, or was Mavis actually real? Like again, something that probably could have been wrapped up in a second season
Exactly. Or maybe she would have had more of a role where, oh, where's Eli? Well,
about that.
well, after an imaginary card battle, you got fucked up.
Pretty much.
Um, Jesus. So yeah, as I was saying with the narration, they had to go with it. There was no way that they weren't not going to go with it. If they just stopped it and just kept it for the main character, then how would they explain the context of Angela, Wesley, and Turbo, and all that stuff? And also, I mean, don't get. I think I have. I mean, I have to give props to the production, like especially with Turbo's episode where he's got all these Legos built up and stuff. And I'm just like, oh man, that's pretty neat. And then I realized, oh man, that's still pretty woke.
Oh man, you've got to let it go. You've got
I
to let it
really
go.
do. But it was nice to see that they did, especially actually, we have to give them props. They've got a whole mall.
Precisely.
That's insane. A whole mall to play with, and barely any destruction on the glass or anything like that. So they did keep it very, in pristine condition. But I just thought that yeah, that was a great set piece. I'm hoping. Well, you would think it would be crazy if they built the set, but that felt like it was an actual proper mall.
Yeah, and like not even that as well. Like even the suburbs around the place, like it still seemed like a suburb, not overly destroyed, but still kind of had that apocalyptic feel. So it's still very like damaged, quiet, cars laying around. Um, if you pay really good attention, you'll notice that like even some plants in the background, some are actually withered, some are actually vibrant because they don't need as much human care. So they really like gave the eye of detail when it came to actually giving the environment.
Mm. Fucking daffodils. Fuck. We'll hit her. We'll hit her up in a second. The other thing that I wanted to say was, I think going back to sort of Wesley's character, and I'll touch on Josh actually in a couple of seconds. But with Wesley's character, god damn man, he's like, oh, I'm a pacifist. I'm a this, and this. I'm like, fuck. Then why do you have those swords? Like, and then the obvious use, right? And the obvious like breaking the fourth wall. This whole freaking TV series is just like Deadpool, but without Ryan Reynolds and without Deadpool. It just breaks the fourth wall everywhere with not only its wokeness, but then trying to talk to the audience, saying like, "Oh, you see, this is why I hate." I'm just like, oh.
I can tell you're definitely not a fan of active participation.
Well, it's the participation of like just being woke. Like I just, it's like
I'm
it just.
going to punish you soon.
Yeah, I know it's really bad. So with Wesley's character, like I was trying to say, was that his whole hypocrisy of like not using his swords and stuff, um, and then he's like, "Oh, you have to train to be a badass," and then I think they actually say, or they revealed when he was doing his little montage, training, whatever, that the black guy was just a stunt guy.
Ooh, I can't remember that
I'm
scene
pretty
too well.
sure they
Just
said something about it. He was
blank
a
on it.
stunt guy.
Oh, I'm just blanking now. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if it's not, then it's obviously clearly a stunt guy because yeah, the flips and shit, and then you got like uh yeah, what's his name? Oh God, what's his name? Josh. I was about to call him John Cena because he looks like John Cena, dude.
Well, then we'd never see a main character in the show. It would just be this blank scenery talking to her.
It's like who is that? Bueller. So, but you saw that photo that I sent you right off the record, just that one frame where he looks like John Cena. It's insane. If you deep faked it, you wouldn't. There's no difference.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And
I'm I'm totally posting that up like after this and just showing people. It just looks like John Cena. It just.
yeah, we'll put it there for reference so everyone can understand.
Yeah, they have to because it'd be like, what? Why is the main character the? Anyway,
You guys will get it soon, don't worry.
well, yeah, it won't be that hard. So, okay, let's move on to the show's protagonist. Well, Josh is the protagonist. She's kind of okay. Sam. Oh God. Don't get me wrong. Like I've when we first get introduced to her, she's like pretty much just awesome, and It doesn't help that in America they have some sort of nuts feelings about British people. I don't know why. So when they cast Sam or this particular actress into Sam's character, yeah, she seems cool and all, and whatever with the struggles and here, and then you find out the history between her and Josh.
Yes.
Shit, I was about to
You
say
got there.
John. So you find out that history, then they break up, and then they have that episode where, they want to do it, sex, blah blah blah, and then she's kind of, you see some cracks in her at that point because obviously in the earlier episodes it's like love, love, love. It's like okay, he really wants to save her, and then we get more of her, and then you see, yeah, she ain't all that perfect. Um, but I think the one thing also the other than the Joe Manganiello part, the one episode that stood out to me just to be the most wow, it was just fucking weird. Was definitely that episode with the pizza guy, the pool, and then just the fucking consent app. Like
There it
what?
is. There it is. I was waiting for it.
Shut up! Shut up! Like shut up! Like the consent app. I actually did not know that shit even existed.
No, you, yeah, no, it caught me off guard as well. I was just like, hang on a second. Wait, what? Heck? It, it, cool. It's like, let's have sex. Sign here, please.
Right? So I'm just like, like where's the days where like you would kind of like get that vibe where you look at it. Okay, we're not talking about sex, but we're just talking about like the initial stages. You're just like, oh yeah, I want to I lock lips and kiss and stuff, where you just look and you just know, and it's just right. It's like kind of like that sort of feeling. You just click and it's right there. And then they talk about this consent app, and I'm like, oh, this is sort of like that kind of kills the mood, dude.
Yeah, it definitely would be a buzzkill. Like, yeah, you consider like most. I'm not making it too personal here, but like most experiences that between me and my friends that were discussing was the mood killer was literally your parents knocking on the door, and now it's like now we can kill the mood with an app.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get mad personal because I was thinking about that. Like, if I ever, if somebody, like, if I was chasing somebody and that was gonna happen on a personal level, and then it's just like, okay, like, I'm thinking, okay, you lock eyes and this and this, and then as I sort of like probably just lean, and then it's like, so we need to consent first. I'll be like, oh fuck me. That'll be the first words that'll come out of my mouth because if she actually pulls that out, I'd be like, oh no, oh no, no, no.
Well, that's the thing though. Like I think again, like as you said, and I'm gonna say it now, and I'm gonna punish myself later for it. But there's your wokeness again.
It is actually kind of woke, but at the same time, the reason why I don't say it's fully woke is because, um, no, no, it's fucking fully woke. The whole fucking idea is fully woke. I just realized because of obviously with what's going on these days now. You motherfucker.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, that particular episode got me pretty annoyed, but the part that actually didn't that I found very real was definitely Josh's dad dying. Um it doesn't have to for a lot of people they may not like that scene where he pushes Sam away. But it's that part I felt was very real because as a kid or as a teenager, I mean, the kid has barely come out of. He's not even in college, and his dad dies when he's in high school. So it's very real that he pushes her away, and then it's even more stingingly real. That's not a word, but it stings more when as he pushes her away he mentions the consent app and he mentions who he saw that was in there. And we'll go into the consent app a little bit more again in a few seconds, but when he pushes her away in that part, it's for me it's unbelievably real because there's no rhyme or reason. It's just sometimes people just want to push people away in terms of like I just leave me alone. I don't want to talk about it. My dad's died. I need time. But that was a pretty crazy way of showing it, and I think that I think touched me the most because it's not as if like it's happened to me or anything like that, but in terms of if I was to be put in his shoes, um, or I think yeah, if the roles were swapped, it's kind of almost like a natural reaction, lashing out like that.
Yeah, no, hands down. Like it wasn't even just like it was the build up as well. Like he was, it was going to be his first time, so he was nervous. He went and put satin sheets, which I could probably pull him aside and say, "Sorry, buddy, that was not a really smart idea there." But he had the lead up, he had the anticipation, he messed up the first time, and she made slight bit of fun, they made a little bit of fun of him about it. And then of course he has the realization that she has this app, and then he sees the people, he gets the phone call like, your dad's dead, you've got a girl who's, who you thought was going to be your first, and she was going to be you're going to be her first. And then that all comes crumbling down. Your dad's dead, you've got this realization that you're not the first, and she could be laughing at you and comparing you to other people. You're a teenager, so your emotions at the best of times are not rational. So that reaction of pushing her away, that's teenagers in a nutshell. And like that's perfectly delivered. And like I will honestly say, yeah, if I was in his shoes, that would be my reaction. And that's again why I agree with you with that one. Like a very real and really well delivered scene.
Mm. With the consent app as well. Oh god, that was definitely the first. Um, yeah, it's the first like you see. I think up to that point for me, I didn't see any cons with Sam's character. Like for example, if you would like um looking at a character and you're saying pros and cons of them, right? It was pretty much just tick tick tick, good pros. But then that one with the app and then the names in that app, dude, she had sex with Hoyles. She actually had sex with Hoyles. And then who was the other name? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't need remember Hoyles was enough to know what her character's like.
That's actually quite true because then it's like, whoa, Sam, like, dang, you get around.
Yeah, you do guys that do underage people and then bribe high schools.
That and the fact that she just gets around, dude. Like, um, honestly speaking, before I knew that Turbo was like gay with Wesley and all that stuff, I thought he was just trying to go after Josh because he was crushing on Sam. And I think that was the general implied message. But then, of course, at the end of what was it, episode 4 or 5, then just like they lock lips and in the cereal factory, and it's like, oh, whoa, totally kind of unexpected. I didn't expect it actually. Um, but yeah, Sam's character after that, I was just like, oh,
And then literally it was just a downhill slope for her.
damn it! I was just about to say that because 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 like okay, if we're going up to actually wait, let's not. We've completely forgotten or even neglected to mention the Asian girl that he fell in love with, which was God, what was her name?
AJ.
AJ?
AJ. Kilo John. Or Kilo Juliet.
Oh, KJ. Okay. So that was actually I thought that was pretty cool. Um, at that point as well, I still felt as if that maybe we are going to see Sam. This was kind of this was kind of procedural, but that was kind of cool. Uh, oh God, actually, which leads me to the next part, dude. The gamers.
Oh, God bless the gamers.
No, not God. Oh God, they the way that she
Oh, it was
talked.
Good scene.
It was a good scene, but the way that they talked, I'm just like, oh man, no, you kind of you're really making gamers look really bad here right now. Just some of the stupid lingo that she created, I'm just like, oh girl, you ain't just, oh.
Hey, let's not forget the fact that they let us down with their inability to communicate with one another. That was just terrible teamwork.
It was pathetic. Like you try to go all Call of Duty and shit, and they fucked up.
One calling out areas, one checking corners. Like that's just awful. That's awful. That's
I
not
was
good video
actually,
game
oh,
design.
actually, that's a really good point. I was actually waiting for, and obviously it's a reference to fucking aliens, but I was actually waiting for one of them to actually say, check those quarters, check those quarters. Like I was just waiting for it because that particularly reminds me of when Angelica is going Angelica.
Yeah, Angelica.
Yeah, when Angelica is going for the Cheerzons, uh, when Angelica is signing up for Cheerzons, right, and they get past that test with the whole gladiator thing, and then she drops the line, "Are you not entertained?" I'm like, oh no.
Had to get put in there somewhere.
Oh, or maybe just don't put it in there. Like, fuck. Just fuck off.
Hey, look, well, in series 10-year-old making a reference to a movie that I watched as a kid, I'm okay with it. I'm like, you know what? Got good taste.
Oh, no, no, no. I would have preferred her saying something, anything other than that, but she's just like, there's one, and it has actually no. Actually, wait, it does, because he did win. I just remembered Russell Crowe's character did win. They didn't clap. Are you not entertained? So then when she won, they were still clapping actually, and then she goes, "Are you not entertained?" I'm like, I just wanna smack the writers. I wanna smack these fucking writers. So with okay, going back to the gamers where they were trying to infiltrate the school, I was just like, okay, it makes sense that they're gamers. They have no fucking sense of being pretend militia or shit, even though that they say, oh yeah, we took out this place and this place, or they like to think about it. Um, yeah, I was just waiting for them to drop an aliens reference, and I'm glad they didn't. I'm so glad.
Yes, I feel like this segment would be a lot more angry if they had.
Well, probably, but I already knew exactly what they were trying to go for, especially with the mounted cams and the communication, and I think it was all in night vision as well, in green. So yeah, and then you had turbo come, you lose, blah, you lose. I was like, okay. So and then you see like Sam in the background, and it's like, oh my gosh, Sam, Sam, Sam. So the gamest part, I just found that hilarious, and then even more hilarious, they didn't even. We don't even know what happened. They just integrated back into high school,
Yeah, just like you guys are a part of us now, and you have no say in it.
and you've just walked away from awesome internet connections, a little hub, and they didn't. And that's the really the bit of a twist as well, where he's asking, can you find out what's happening in the rest of the world? And they're just selfish and they don't find out anything. I'm like, this isn't. No, I know there's literally gamers out there, if they were in that situation, would want to know what has happened in the rest of the world, but they didn't. I'm like, oh, this is bullshit.
Yeah, no, like any self-proclaimed gamer in that kind of situation would literally need to know what is the situation everywhere else. Are we the only ones? Like, obviously, there's internet connection because they're still playing games with each other. So, th- th- look, guys, Google search,
Yeah,
news.com, something.
they have internet connections, so I'm just like, yo, like you could do something here. So again, I think that would have been maybe implemented in season two. Um, oh god, let's not forget the fucking golf club, dude.
Oh, Larry, Barry, Gary.
Oh, just that one where he's singing on the piano was fucking cringe, dude. which is fucking stupid. I'm sitting there just going, "Oh my god."
You just know he was still gonna die anyway.
I know. And what's the point of him singing? I'm just like, this is so embarrassing. But if it is him singing, definitely. God, that's a lot of balls to do that. So definitely, he's got great talent as a in terms of an actor. But the scene was just, it's just cringe. But the funny thing, and the ironic thing that I liked about the music in Turbo's football field was, wasn't that a real band that they would bring up to play?
It was, yes, and actually really thoroughly enjoyed that band every time.
I don't even know their real. I don't know their real name, but I've got a feeling that they're probably like a band, that's touring or some shit.
Yeah, didn't really look into it. Like, I
Neither.
just I just enjoyed it because I'm a heavy fan, so for me, I was just like, oh yes, this is good.
It was good actually. I thought that was good too. Um. Okay, let's skip all the way to the end. So with Broderick, which I think they were going to find out in season two. So why were they growing another human inside them? You know what I mean? Like, why did that arm just rip
Yes.
apart?
Again, when I was just like, that's what I meant by like ending it and canceling it really like annoys me because like that was just really weird, gross, but at the same time I kind of loved it because watching Broderick actually talk to it was just really entertaining. I loved it. He's just like easy, 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 easy. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'm just like, oh my god, this is great.
It was a bit, yeah, it was a bit gross, but it was great. And then it kind of gave you the impression of what would happen with Mrs. Grumble.
Yeah, exactly. Especially considering like she was kind of, if I was going to say, I'd say she's a little bit further on because she seemed a little bit more unhinged in Broderick's character. So she seemed to be a little bit further on, and like she showed parts of herself, like when you first meet her and she gets the keys out of her stomach by putting her own hand down her throat. Like it seemed like she was probably closer than he was because he didn't really do anything like that. So
Yeah, he
she
did
was
have
closer.
dislocated his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, so I would be interested to find out where that was going to go. So I'm really hoping they pick it up again. But
Well, the thing is, though, didn't this series originate from Netflix?
it did, yeah. So I don't know why they would shoot themselves in the foot like that.
Well, yeah, because who else would pick it up? Amazon or?
Yeah, well, Amazon usually picks up scraps of everyone, so who knows?
Hmm. Okay, so to that ending of the whole rocket thing and the football team or whatever. Oh, wait, let's not forget Turbo's right hand man, the angry black girl. Holy shit, dude.
Oh, she was nuts.
She was nuts, and she played the role well. But the stereotype of just like some angry black woman, like just screaming shit out, she kind of like was personifying Samuel L. Jackson. It's like, she was dropping the MF bombs
But
and
a
all
woman.
that. Hey,
Samuel, but a woman. Yeah,
Sam,
Sam. Oh
Sam,
my god, much Sam.
Sam.
See now, this part I don't like because you haven't seen Supernatural. So if I was like to go Sam, you just would not get it. I'm hoping someone listening does.
I don't know, but yeah, okay. So it was the angry right hand of Turbo Black Woman. Like she was pretty intense. But man, that stereotype.
And she was violent too. Let's not forget that.
Jesus, yes, I completely forgot about that.
Just like we completely forgot about the Chimazons because that's how important they were in the long run of things.
Yeah, it was more of a side story, the Amazons. Oh, also, how interesting that they decided to put in again, um, Americanized sign language.
Ah, yes, yeah, because they brought that in with the actual Chimazons. Forgot about that.
Yeah, the Amazons, and then Sam knew about. Sorry, Jake. No, Jake? Is it Jake?
Josh.
Josh? God damn it, Josh. Jo- Fuck. So Josh knew about it, and he was doing the sign language, and but the girl that was supposed to do sign or interpret it, and then she does the sign language. Did she die? I can't remember. Like it was as if like she died.
It looked like it, but they didn't like really fully confirm because like you had what was left of the Shimazons that was standing like when into that final kind of like battle off scene. So like you knew she was hurt, but not confirmed.
Yeah, I felt it was unconfirmed because she I don't know. It didn't. Yeah, it was definitely unconfirmed. Um. Uh. Yeah, we're totally moving on to Sam. That shit at the end, fuck it, pissed me off so hard.
Oh, and what a flip again. But again, as we said, downward spiral until you get to the end.
Yeah, it was okay. It wasn't even okay. It was.
Like it
Some
wasn't even
people
like a spiral. It's just like she just went off a cliff. It's like, here's Sam, how you hold her, but now we're gonna make it drop down like this.
because let's don't get me wrong. I actually thought he won her back with the post-it notes, where she was just giving him all sorts of like some very creative insults, and then he just pulls out the "Where are you?" and then I was like, real smooth, Josh. He goes, then he writes, "I am here," and I'm like, bro.
Add it to the cringe list.
No, I actually added that to the whole fucking smooth motherfucker.
Oh damn! I thought you would have put that in your cringe box.
No, definitely not. Because, like I said, I thought he won her back, and then she's just like, eh. And then at the end, she's like, "What? Do you think I'm a damsel in distress?" And I'm like, "Oh, you fucking bitch."
Here we go.
Yeah, well, okay. So some people will think that okay, that's a flip, right? That's a flip because it's a twist in terms of like him, the whole fucking series. Sam, Sam,
Sam.
Sam. So then at the very end, then she's just like, "Oh, I'm not a damsel in distress, and no, I'm not going to join you. I just use my powers of manipulation, so then I could be the queen of whatever the rest of you are." And I'm like, "Oh no, like
You
come
little
on,
bitch.
man." Like he fought through big tooth, hard and nail, and blood and shit, and then
Cut off a finger.
yeah, and then it was actually kind of chivalrous, but then you get those people in the real, oh, the fucking work moment, and then the people in the real world where they just go, you don't have to open the door for me. I'm totally capable, and chivalry is dead. I'd be like, oh, okay, bitch, fuck off, and I'll just slam the door right in their face. So that's the kind of crap that I hate in real world, where it's not only it's their twisted minds. They're now saying, oh, opening doors for people or something or other, like being chivalrous is just a bad thing, right? Because they go, oh,
Honestly, it's
because
not.
no, because they say, oh, the underlying means is, oh, because you opened the door for us and because you want sex, because you want this and this, and I'm just like, oh, shut the fuck up. And then when I saw this part with Sam and her being declaring the whole, I don't want to be damsel in distress, this, and this, it took me like maybe 10 minutes after I finished it for me to accept it and go, okay, bitch, this actually works because you a hoe.
I'd like to also take this opportunity to let everybody listening know that I'm now developing my door opening consent app, which should be installed this
Sign up for only
June.
99 cents.
No, no, sorry. It's actually the add-on is additional legal aid. So for 99 cents for each day, I'm going to do 99 cents a day because no, I want my $365 a year. So for an extra $365 a year, but I'll charge you 99 cents a day because credit card interest will kill you. You'll get also legal aid. There you
so,
go.
so
Yes.
yeah, so yeah, so again, it does go back to the consent app where she's apparently just consented with most of the school.
Literally, and like it played out. Like realistically, her twist didn't come as a surprise to me because honestly, what character that would be good at heart and be a decent person openly work with a ghoul principal who had spent the last however many months it had been since the nuke went off eating children to suddenly work with them.
Oh, actually, true.
So it's like, yes, I will help you, principal, who has spent the last few days eating all my friends. I will help you make this new goop that's going to build our immunities up. That sounds like a good idea. And then finds half-eaten, I think it was Larry that was left at the time, half-eaten Larry in the cupboard.
Oh yeah, that was Larry with the leg in
You,
the
yeah,
arm.
yeah, like you find him, and then like you don't automatically rage and want to murder him for that. Like she responded pretty nonchalant about that, so I was like, hang on a second, this bitch.
No, I didn't notice that. I guess I was still, I was definitely in the moment in terms of watching it. Um, as strange as that sounds, because I was telling you, man, like I couldn't even. It was a struggle just to get to episode 4. It was a fucking
I'm
struggle,
glad you got
dude.
through it. I'm glad you got through it.
Oh, just I don't know how I did it because there was definitely the cringe parts. I definitely did tap the forward button a few times, which only forwards about 5 seconds. So I did definitely do multiple taps of that just to skip some parts. I was just like, oh, like definitely that part with
Ouch.
Crumble and Burr where they're doing the whole sitcom thing. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that was a little off color for the whole series, to be honest.
It's just so stupid. It was again, it was trying to be quirky, and I'm like, ah, just by like episode when things got real in terms of the dad dying and stuff, and then him remembering about his dad, and then that really, I actually didn't actually let's go to that part a little bit now, as probably maybe the last part, but that part where he's talking to his dad, right, or that last memory where I think he's thinking that his dad said, or he forced the memory where he said, his dad turns to him and says, "I love you," and he goes, "Yeah, I love you too," or something. But before that particular scene where he sees the deer, and obviously Josh isn't with him, and Josh just hears him say, "Oh, Josh, I wish you were here."
Oh man.
What a tearjerker, right?
Oh yeah, that got me around the feels.
Right. So definitely tearjerker moment, but then the part where he goes, "Oh, I love you," and then I love you too. I think he imagined that, or he was trying to force the memory, just so then he could get, excuse me, so then he could get some closure.
No, no, I'd agree with that one, but definitely, yeah. Like I thought that, like the whole flashback with his dad and him hunting, I thought that was like a really good lead up to that ending of the episode. So again, that was probably a really good highlight, and I think, yeah, definitely agree. The I love you was probably a forced memory for him to try and get some sort of closure, considering in his mind everything around him's crumbling. So creating that memory would have given him some sort of anchor to hold on to.
Mm. And then let's not forget as well, I think another, now that I realize it, another real moment was when he was actually talking to his dad, and this is when he's like a teenager, and he's got, I think it looks as if like he's got braces on, and he's discussing with his dad why his dad won't come to Los Angeles, or why his dad didn't say anything. Again, that's a really, really uh, surreal and real moment that it's true. No matter what kind of words that the dad could say to him at his adolescent age at that time, with the braces and high school and whatever, he won't understand. He won't understand why he would break up with his mom, and because again Josh ruled out with him, was it a divorce, did you cheat, or is it this and this, but it must have been something else, and for that we don't know. But at the same time, I think not knowing that is actually poignant and real, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's like it's something every parent does. Like they just assume that
When
no
they're in
matter
when
how
they're in
they
that situation
explain,
though.
yeah, exactly. And it's just like you, you don't think your kid's ever going to handle it, and it's just like I think his dad at that point was just like in his mind, he's like, we're out here hunting, we're having a father and son time. Like let's. I don't want to. I think in his dad's mind, he's like, I don't want to talk about that. That's painful. Let me enjoy this moment with you, because in his mind, he's probably like, I'm never going to get it again. Like, this is probably going to be one of the last or few times that I'll ever see you. So, let's enjoy it.
I think that too, but at the same time, I think he was just not wanting to privy the kid to maybe who was at fault in terms of both that led to the eventuality of the divorce or the breakup. Because yeah, how will the kid handle it? Like, he's already moving from Canada, which is his origin country, to Los Angeles. That's a big move. Like, obviously because it's a completely different country. Even though they're quite close, it's still, I think, a big move. It's a country from country. So we'll never know why they had that divorce. Maybe that was going to be addressed in season two, but at the same time, I don't think it would be, considering how much Josh didn't have a relationship with his mom. It was just post-it notes, and then his dad was the one that really, he had that bonding with.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think if I was going to take a stab, I'd say probably Josh's own character and his own, well, his own, yeah, him himself would probably have been the root cause of the separation, because he showed an indication of just never wanting to actually try and fit in anywhere. He just kind of just wanted to just be himself and not actually really want to interact with the world. Like, even at school, his real interaction was only with Sam, and that's because she had to show him around. So he only had that one person. Everyone else, he just had small interactions with every now and then. So he come across as that kind of character who just didn't want to be anywhere. So who knows? In previous years before that, he may have been one of those kids who was, problems at school and moved from school to school to school because it didn't suit what he wanted. So his parents would probably had to continually change jobs, change careers, pay out extra money. So, could have caused a strain. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah. I'm actually not too fussed that they didn't go into either great lengths or even provide an explanation. Again, I still think it's very surreal, or at the same time very real, that they left it like that.
Mm.
Because um, at the same time, now I don't think Josh would ever get the answers. Where in his
Or would he
state,
accept it?
yeah, or because he's obviously in the apocalypse and he doesn't know where his mom is, or he knows where his dad is, but he's gone, but he'll never know where his mom is. So I don't think she would just be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, honey, but your dad. The reason why we broke up was." No, I don't think they would go into that. It's just one of those things where the apocalypse strikes, and then those memories are pretty much left in limbo.
Yeah, it's probably really where they need to stay, because what's the point really unless you're going to use it for a character development? But we don't need it.
That, and also just in terms of realism as well, because that was a great realism point where it's definitely, even though they have the Ferris Bueller process and him talking about his life and all that stuff, it only talks about his life from what he knows and what he remembers before the apocalypse hits, but it'll never venture into the whole part. Actually, wait. Essentially, it did venture into that part where he saw him. Actually, yeah. What am I saying? It ventured into the part where he was saying, "Oh, Josh, I wish you were here." He would never have known that memory, right? That's got to be conjured up. I just realized.
Conjured up, or again, it could have been maybe the actual directors and writers' way of actually just maybe just showing us his dad's side and giving us that memory. But potentially, it could be another one that he conjured up.
Hmm. Okay, so Daybreak. Out of five.
I'm still sitting with my three.
Oh my
I
god.
think it's still, yeah, judge me all you want, but it had its good moments. It had its fun moments. It the Ferris Bueller parts of it that came across that were done well were done well. I think honestly, if you're looking for a series to just break away from what makes sense and get a bit of cringe in your day, then this is definitely one for you. Um, You say Broderick got it easy in his role, but I still think he done damn well. Miss Crumple's character is literally me because I would probably spend my day struggling to kill all humans, so I can relate to her. But no, I think really campy, really fun. Definitely a break away from what's usual, so I still enjoyed it. So I definitely recommend it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a one because oh god,
You bastard!
Sam, Sam. Um,
Sam!
that's the one. I'm gonna have to give it a one, dude, because it just didn't sit well with me in terms of the it's just breaking the fourth wall too much. It's too much stuff that, again, I was probably lucky to guess and even understand the memes and the social society hierarchy, as well as the American sort of maybe teen status humor, because I've watched a lot of movies, and I've dabbled into that, and I've sort of not experienced it obviously because I haven't been to an American school, but just sort of just seeing that around, and it does happen. And even some of my American friends tell me, yeah, this shit happens. There is people who haze. There are people who want to literally get you down to your most vulnerable, and they don't care if you die. Um, but yeah, I just, and also, God, just so much of the societal comments that they did, and just the fucking wokeness, dude. Like, damn, I can't say it enough because it's just, I, I can understand where people are coming from with they, like you said, dude, you like it, and I'm sure people do like it, and they think like it's. And I saw the comments, and they were saying like, saying that it was the best thing, and they wish that season 2 came out. Sure, by all means, but for me personally, my opinion is God, I wish I could get my 10 times 45 minutes back.
Ow.
Okay, we're coming to an impasse. Well, not an impasse, but I'm sorry. It's just my opinion I'm saying. But
Yeah, no, there had to be a time when we disagreed on something, and yeah, if there was going to be a season to disagree on, at least it was one that was cringy.
yeah, that's an understatement, man. Like, I can't believe how many times I got a headache from eye rolling, if that's even possible.
Apparently, it is so.
Yeah, I know. Just I gotta find something. I gotta find something to redeem myself from this. I think for me personally.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of other shows out there. Maybe something will help you heal.
What about the boys?
Haven't seen it, been recommended, so I may give it a watch.
Oh, wait. Is there any other recommendations you can give me?
Uh, Honestly, nothing right now because I'm just working my way through. Well, actually, just finished up season 14. It was season 14 of
Supernatural.
Supernatural, and I know that's not on your radar, so I can't
That's a long
recommend
way
it to
away
you.
from me, though.
Yeah, I know, and it's got a lot of seasons, so but yeah, that's if you ever want to give it a chance, it's not that
Keep going higher.
bad. I could try.
No. We've seen Stewie do it. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely not.
All right, I gotta figure something out. There's gotta be something out there.
Well, there we go. There's a challenge for anyone listening. Any recommendations for Janus here? Pop them in the comments. Hopefully, you can find something that works that I don't recommend that hurts him.
Hold on now. I'm sure there's gonna be something that you're gonna recommend to me, and then it's just gonna be like, okay, we'll find something. But I, it doesn't. It won't stop me from asking. It'll be like, okay, I'll look into it.
Okay, okay. Actually, yes, there is something I did give a watch. What was it called? Ottoman.
Who?
Rise of Empires. Ottoman. It's based on Sultan Mehmed's campaign against the Byzantine capital of Constantinople. So it's a bit of a historical one, but I've watched the first episode because they're 44-minute episodes, so I really will only ever do one a day. Um, but it's done as a live action, but also as a doco at the same time. So it's a doco series. So you'll have historians talking about the actual implications, the actual writings, and who wrote it at what time, and then you have actual actors playing out the actual live action. And it's just so far like one episode in, and I'm already hooked. So it's really incredibly well done. So if you're a bit of a history buff, if you feel like a history show, definitely give it a chance.
Maybe.
I know I've already hurt you once.
No, it's not that. No, I wouldn't put it that way.